Imagine 100,000 people packed into a World Cup stadium, and above them, Ondas drones scanning for threats in real time. It's amazing if drones would actually be a part of the World Cup experience with it. Ondas got the contract, and they're going to be scanning the areas around the stadium for all types of different situations, such as other types of drones, any type of crimes, that type of thing. So now imagine this company behind that technology is one of the most heavily shorted stocks in the market. For that company is Ondas. And today we're going to break down the real contracts, the real numbers, and why Wall Street is betting against it. And while this company is quietly positioning itself inside a $33 billion government pipeline as well. Ondas Holdings, ONDS stock ticker, is not your typical drone company. It's a defense technology and communications company focused on mission critical operations. And the key piece of the story is their subsidiary, Aerobotics. So what is Aerobotics? This is Aerobotics. Aerobotics is an Israeli-based manufacturer and operator of government Tier 1 autonomous drone systems and solutions. Aerobotics drone systems are used for government, industrial, and commercial services, providing automated data capture and analysis and other unmanned aerial services. Performed 24/7 without human intervention, addressing the needs of the world's most complex environments. Aerobotics builds autonomous drones, counter-drone systems, and AI-powered surveillance platforms. These are not hobby drones, they're government-grade systems. This is what it looks like with a drone hovering over a World Cup stadium for Ondas, as well as this one. Here's another one, a drone hovering over a World Cup stadium. Could be interesting. And what if it starts, what if it's first the World Cup, then the Super Bowl, then the Major League Baseball World Series? So now let's connect to the real world. Events like the World Cup are not just sporting events, they're massive security operations. You have 50,000 to 100,000 people in one place. Global media attention. You have high value targets. And in today's threats, as they are evolving, drones are now one of the biggest risks. That's why systems like ONDS are being used to monitor airspace, detect unauthorized drones, and respond in real time. So this is where the story starts to get interesting. Now let's talk about what ONDS has actually landed. On February 9th, they got the $30 million Israeli demining program. February 13th, the NATO European order for Iron Drone Raider. February 17th, German state police contract. March 2nd, $10 million Worldview strategic partnership. On March 4th, they got a $20 million contract for U.S. border protection. And on March 6th, they got a $6 million Middle East counter drone systems. As this is not just a concept, company, or story. But first, let's talk about what's going on at the Israeli-Jordan border and how they got a contract for surveillance along the border. Here is Jordan, and here is Israel. And here is the border. So drones will be flying back and forth along the border. Israeli border defense deployment. ONDS through Air Robotics has deployed systems in Israel, which includes border monitoring, security surveillance, and defense-related operations. This is real-world high-risk environment deployment. Next is urban security and government deployments. Systems being used are in smart cities, infrastructure monitoring, and public safety environments. And next are event security use cases such as World Cup. Large-scale event security is a growing market, and ONDS technology fits directly into. Stadium security, crowd monitoring, and aerospace protection. The biggest piece of the story is the new $33 billion pipeline through W.S. Darley. ONDS recently partnered with a company called W.S. Darley. Now, if you never heard of them, this is where things get interesting. W.S. Darley is not just another company. They're a major supplier to the United States government. So as you can see, they work with defense and first responders. They also work with federal agencies and military procurement programs. And here's the key. They have access to a $33 billion procurement ecosystem. So what does that mean in simple terms? Think of WS Darby like a distribution gateway. Instead of ONDS trying to win contracts alone and navigate government bureaucracy, they now have a partner already inside the system, which means faster access, more opportunities, and large-scale contracts. But it's not guaranteed revenue, but it opens the door to massive potential deals. So let's say if you wanted to order a drone, you would go to their website, go to defense, go to the defense capabilities brochure, which to me is like an old Sears catalog type of deal. You go to the brochure, and then page 30, where you'll find drones, unmanned systems. Of course, it's unmanned aerial systems, unmanned ground vehicles, unmanned surface vehicles, underwater vehicles, which might be Kraken in the near future. Kraken Robotics. Bold next level technology for all mission types. Tactical drones have become invaluable assets in modern military operations, providing real-time intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. So obviously, if you go to the W.S. Darley website, and then you can order a drone or whatever else Ondas sells on the website. So now let's take a look at the financials. Ondas is trading at $9.33 today. It's down 1.27%. Revenue is minus 25 to minus $30 million previously. Targeting $150 million near term. Long-term potential is $300 million. The backlog is $60 to $70 million. Cash, they have about $200 million on hand estimated. But here's the catch. Ondas is still burning cash. Their estimated burn is 15 million to 25 million a quarter, or 60 million to 100 million annually. So the bears are saying, yeah, the opportunity is big, but the company is not profitable yet. And if growth slows, then that becomes a problem. For they have significant net losses and dilution despite record revenue. Ondas reported a widened net loss of approximately 100 million for quarter 4 2025, largely due to the $82 million non-cash warrant charge. Investors remain concerned about continued cash burn and significant dilution following a massive billion-dollar capital raise in the early 2026. So that's why they got to constantly get contracts to keep bringing in revenue. Company's rapid buying spree of roughly 10 defense-related companies creates complex integration challenges. Analysts note that future growth remains vulnerable to regulatory delays and shifts in government procurement rules, which could cause significant quarterly financial volatility through 2026. So all that's interesting, and that's what the bears are talking about. Now let's go to Ondas on FinViz and see what's going on with the bears and how they're shorting the stock. And this is why the stock is being heavily shorted. Over 30%, 34.33 of all of the stock is being shorted. For they have 155 million shares being shorted, 1.65 ratio, or 1.64 of all outstanding shares. I think outstanding shares are 450 million shares. So it's a massive bet against the company. So now we have a battle. The bulls, the bulls are saying this is the future of defense plus security. And the bears are saying that it's overvalued and it's not proven yet and it's burning too much cash. So here's the opportunity. If ONDS executes, converts pipeline into contracts, uses WS Darley access to sell more drones, etc., grows revenue rapidly, shorts may be forced to cover, and that's where things get explosive. So what's the final verdict? Who's going to win? Is it the bulls or the bears? The answer is simple. It all comes down to execution. If ONDS turns World Cup type opportunities, if they actually, if it starts with the World Cup and then goes to the World Series and then the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, then that turns into real cash. Also defense deployments, more surveillance on borders between countries, things like that, and also WS Darley's access into real revenue. The bulls win. If not, the bears are going to win. So I want to hear from you. Is ONDS sitting on a massive opportunity, or is Wall Street right to bet against it? Drop your thoughts below, and please like and subscribe to this video. And if you have any takes on the video, I'd like to hear your opinions about them. And we'll see you in the next one.